when you walk in, what is it now? Oh, look at these films, look at these videos. They're all there to explain what's happening, to share L. Ron Hubbard quotes about Scientology and Dianetics. You don't really sit down with a person. You do at one point to go over the results of your personality test, which is designed to show areas where you are lacking. And then they home in on that and go, oh, communication. Do you have issues communicating? Like how are things at work, relationships? They will dig and dig until they find something that they consider to be your ruin, as it's called in Scientology, and use that to sell you a book or get you to do Scientology services. When Scientology can no longer body route, bring people in that way, it dries up their ability to get new people into Scientology. This is what we are seeing as a result of the protests that are happening worldwide. Scientology body routers are not able to go out there and recruit and hand out propaganda material in the way that they used to. Why? Because protesters are there letting people know what's what. We've seen yesterday, we went over a couple of clips from Windy City Thetan Watch, where Paul's out there in Chicago literally taking those materials back from people who are willing, who don't want them once they find out that Scientology is a human trafficking cult. Once they do that, they go ahead and they hand it back to him, which made me wonder. So the person handing out the promo pieces, their statistics is a number of promotional items handed out. If Windy City Thetan or anybody comes behind them and collects them back, do they take it off their statistic? I wonder. If they don't, they're false reporting. So if you're a Scientology body router handing out recruitment materials and they're being taken back and you're not taking those numbers off your statistics, you are false reporting, as it's called in Scientology, which means you get an automatic assignment of the condition of doubt in Scientology. So it is a thing. It is a thing and it is happening. And this is the importance and the ways in which these protests are having a huge impact. Because not only that, they're being live streamed. How many people? There are so many people who are now watching these after the fact, watching them live, watching a recap like today, which reminds me, everybody here, get over there and smash that like button for me, please. All of it makes a difference and it gets the word out about Scientology. So then when they're on the street and they encounter a Scientology body router, they know what it is. Or somebody hands them Scientology material. This is the impact of these protests. There is a newer channel called Missing in Scientology. We highlighted her the other day because she was being filmed by a Scientologist with a massive camera. But in this clip, she shares a bit about why she started this channel, and I wanted to make sure this was on your radar.
I started this channel kind of as a way for people to be able to post their loved ones that they've lost track of in Scientology. And I sent some posters over to MD Media 18 in LA, and he has been posting them all around LA to bring awareness to the fact that, there are Scientologists that are missing in Scientology and disconnected from their families and unable to speak to them. So I'm hoping to do some videos on that sort of material.
This is so great. I'm so glad that she's doing this. We are going to keep track and be sharing about it because this is exactly what happens. Think about what happened the other day, right? With Mindy Willen's video, we shared it. She put together a compilation timeline showing how live streamers and the chat, people in the chat recognized a woman who had been missing from her family for 20 years and they were reunited. That woman wasn't even in Scientology, but still being out there on the street and live streaming, they recognized her. They spoke for hours and they're reunited. They've been looking for her for 20 years. This happens as well with Scientologists. This is why Scientology doesn't want you to see Sea Organization members, their faces. They have them wear masks. They cover them up. They hide them, literally hide them. They're putting people in vans to take them not even half a block so they won't be identified by protesters and that they won't be able to then see or hear what the protesters are saying. And it's not working for Scientology, but it's working hugely for the protesters. Now, one of Scientology's tactics is they try to find out, they take a look at who they believe their enemy to be. And they find out everything they can about them, what their buttons are, and they try to push them. They try to find their pain points, and then they try to push on those, right? That's pretty much what they've always done. That's what L. Ron Hubbard says to do, is to, do a noisy investigation. And they just start making all kinds of noise and attempt to intimidate and silence people. They will harass people and stuff like that. So, did you know, though, were you aware of what David Miscavige's buttons are? And by nature, Scientology. David Miscavige will react in a way that's very reactionary, and no one tells him no. So if he says to do something, they do it, even if it means breaking the law. We're going to take a look at Mark Bunker, a clip from a video. Mark Bunker is here on YouTube. You guys might remember he was a councilman in Clearwater. He also was involved with the Lisa McPherson Trust back in the day. He's an OG exposer of Scientology. He is putting together these videos in 4K. This is from an interview that he did with Marty Rathbun at the time. And they talk about what David Miscavige's buttons are. And I think just as a way to help everybody in the community understand, because, let's take a page out of the Scientology handbook, right? If they're looking around trying to push the buttons of protesters and people here on YouTube, we want to make sure we're pushing his proper buttons too, since that seems to be how he operates. So let's take a look at what happened when the Lisa McPherson Trust moved in next to the Fort Harrison Hotel back in the day.
The LMT coming to town created something that was a horror story for me and Mike Rinder and for Office of Special Affairs Flag. In other words, it didn't really bother me too bad that you all moved in next door to but what the problem was, it drove Miscavige stark staring mad, and Mike Rinder and I on a daily basis had to suffer the brunt of that reaction, and it was constant. You talk about breaking the law. I mean, he didn't care how it got done. I want them out. We tried to buy the place out from under you and got with the owner and tried to do it. We bought essentially the Clearwater Police Department. No expense spared. It didn't matter. I mean, the Clearwater Police Department, was probably the biggest enemy of the Church of Scientology.
They were, until they were bought by Scientology, as he shares in this video. Link down below so you can see the whole video. It's not even very long. Marty Rathbun used to be like the enforcer for David Miscavige, and for many years he was a critic of Scientology. Some people believe that he is back on the payroll of Scientology. It's all, honestly, I don't really know what the deal is. I kind of lost track of that whole thing and never really looked into it again. But what he's saying is still valid in that interview from back in the day. I found that very interesting because, again, even people working for Miscavige, like he was saying, we weren't bothered by that they were there, but Miscavige was. So if Miscavige is bothered by it, something gets done about it, usually in a reactionary way that is very wasteful of resources. They literally were going to buy a building just to get rid of people who were there spreading awareness about Lisa McPherson and how she died at the hands of Scientology. And what many people know, some people don't know this. It was David Miscavige himself that looked at Lisa McPherson's folder in Scientology, her auditing folder, and said, she's clear. He declared her as clear. This man has, as I understand it, you guys tell me, my ex-Sea Org friends, if I'm wrong, David Miscavige doesn't have any technical training in Scientology, any actual like auditor training, case supervisor training, right? In L. Ron Hubbard's technology of how to do that. So why he thought that, I don't know. But he had a hand in it. He had his thumb in that pie. He has a hand in everything that's going on because he runs Scientology and the Office of Special Affairs. Osa, wake up, right? You guys know it. You're taking direction from people who are taking direction from him. You know this. It shows. Your Miscavige is showing. And doesn't that make sense then? Why? What's been happening in Los Angeles and Hollywood, right? We've had DOA there in his van because he's a van lifer. We have Jay there now who is staying in his truck doing the whole car camping thing. This makes them crazy. Who are they attacking? Who are they going after? Scientology just goes after DOA like crazy. In LA and in other places too. Same thing with Jay, right? They picked him up not too long ago. It's this idea of planting yourself. How dare you plant yourself in the vicinity of Scientology? We know that's a button for Miscavige because look who he's going at. You can usually tell. You can usually tell. So I think that's something to keep an eye on there. Oh, that's fun. This person's saying, I have a friend who tutored David and Denise, his twin, when they were little. I don't know if you guys know, David Miscavige has a twin sister. I think she's still living in Clearwater. Some years back, she got busted for drugs or something. So I think it's safe to say she is not welcome at the international base or where David Miscavige is. Little sidebar, too. He has a twin. There's a lot of twins that come out of the Scientology world. Someday I think we got to make a list, but there's a lot of them. It's crossed my mind a few times that almost like, I wonder if we should do a video on that because there is what I consider to be a crazy amount, but I could totally be wrong. Anyways, I don't want to digress too far, but yes, Connor lives in the building. I don't know if he lives in that building with Tom Cruise, but I think he does live in Clearwater out there in that area. Okay, let's take a look at Poe on the Go. Poe did a video with Mona, who you see around here is Fat Grammy, literally Michael and Becky. And check it out. Check it out. I love when they get together. We're going to take a peek at a little bit of what they were talking about. You can see the full video down below. There's a link.
When I did the live about you're doing it wrong and how there's so many people coming out and they want to talk about how the protesters are doing it wrong and they want to talk crap about them and all that. And my point on it is every time you see them show up and Scientology folds up their tables, takes their books, run inside their building, lock the doors and close all the blinds, you are doing something. You are making an effect, because if one person doesn't walk into that building as a potential new Scientologist, you've made ground. And I just, that's my feeling on it is that everybody is making some kind of effect on how it's going on. When I did the live about you're doing it wrong.
That is very, very true. And I love that they brought that up. It is. And this is like the theme today. These protests are having an impact. It's affecting the statistics of Scientology. They are drying up in that way, especially when it comes to getting new people in Scientology. And this makes David Miscavige crazy because his whole way of doing things, it's not working. It doesn't work in the world today. And his people, no one's going to tell him this. That's why, Osa, look, I don't even blame you, okay? Because I know that you cannot speak back to dear leader. I know that you can't stand up to him and say these things. We know how it works behind the scenes. So I know behind the scenes, you too, Osa, are probably just rolling your eyes, not when he's there, of course, at some of the things you're being asked to do. This is not the way the world works. This might have worked for L. Ron Hubbard back in the day when there was no internet and there was no live streaming. This type of behavior no longer works. You will be called out on it left and right. Okay, you can go back and rest now, Osa. Go back and rest. It just doesn't work. There's the internet. There's live streaming. There's multiple people. You might have people that need to take a break sometimes from protesting, and they should. Your well-being, your mental health, your spiritual well-being, all of that needs to come first. But guess what? There's always somebody else coming up, wants to check it out, feels moved to do it. People who left Scientology a long time ago, but weren't ready to speak out or be involved, are being inspired by what they're seeing here on YouTube, by what they're seeing here in the protests. Case in point, Los Angeles with Jay, right? The Rosses. They came down for their Deanna, her mother, her family was instrumental in starting Scientology in Las Vegas and Reno way back in the day. And here they are. Here she is protesting Scientology now. A lot more people are coming out of the woodwork, and that is going to continue because they're seeing what's being done. They're seeing the masses, the large number of all of you never in Scientology, but all in on bringing down the cult, being here and lending your voices, your time, and your support. They're no longer alone in standing up to this bully known as Scientology being run by David Miscavige. For many of them, there's no longer any fear. It's making an impact. Now, David Miscavige is going to love this one. The Sins of Scientology is a true crime channel here on YouTube that also covers its Scientology true crime. It's like two amazing things coming together. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. I swear to God. We're going to look at a clip from this. Episode 2 just dropped, and guess who it's about? It's about David Miscavige.
Miscavige is a man surrounded by power, controversy, and mystery. At his side for many years was his wife Shelley Miscavige, a figure whose sudden disappearance has sparked widespread intrigue and concern. This is their story. Shelley Miscavige, born Michelle Diane Barnett, was raised in a Scientology family. Her parents were dedicated members, and she was deeply entrenched in the church's activities from a young age. David and Shelley's courtship was unique.
So it goes on to like their courtship, them getting together. Ooh, my heart literally pitter patters when I think about it because I love true crime and I love Scientology stuff, and worlds are colliding and I'm so here for it. I can hardly stand it. I really can't. It's so great. So yes, shout out to Sandy McKenna and Abraham for doing the good work and putting that together. So episode 2 has dropped on Sins of Scientology. After this, of course, go check it out or when you can today. And it's great because a lot of us listen to videos. We're actually listening more than watching. That's often the case with me. I like to do window time, looking out the window and have an earbud in and listen to something on YouTube in the community. I really like that. And when these episode drops, that's usually what I'm listening to. So I love it. The other thing I found, we shared this the other day. There's a new channel called Cultology. And they did this thing yesterday. Maybe they did it before and I missed it. I don't know. It's a get to know your mods. And I love it. I love it. You guys, they spilled so much tea, but nothing bad, nothing that's not already out there on the internet that has been said by any of the creators, nothing like that. But what's so cool about it from my perspective is it's the perspective of the mods, the moderators here on YouTube. They hear everything, they see everything. Often even more than we do as creators, because often when I'm doing a show, especially when we're doing the recap, I can't see all of the comments, but Nancy's in the back starring things and the mods are keeping an eye out for trolls, welcoming people when they come, helping to create that community, the kind of community we want. So the mods hear and see all. And I think this is fascinating. I personally want to see more of this. We're going to take a look at a clip because I learned things about some of the moderators that I had no idea about and I think is just so cool. So let's see here. I'm going to make sure I'm going to pull this up. Let's take a look at the clip and then let's chat about it. Let's see. And again, this is Cultology. This was Get to Know Your Mobs, and it was Barb, SPTV Tattoo Warrior, who, by the way, I did not know had a bunch of tattoos and an SPTV tattoo. This is what I'm saying, learning so much. Okay, check this out.
I'm right. One of the things why I like my tattoos is they are conversation starters. Because people are like, what does that mean? And then it's too late for them. Down the rabbit hole we go.
And Barb is a moderator on multiple channels, but I would say she's most known for being the moderator on Aaron Growing Up in Scientology, where you always hear often Aaron going, Barb, Barb. This is the Barb.
You're going to find out about Scientology right now.
Exactly.
Poet agrees with me. He really misses the Monday night shows.
And I miss game night. But you know what? Everybody's so busy like protesting and covering all the things, and they're fair gaming every freaking buddy in the world. Mm-hmm. I barely have time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but like
my job that he goes away for all the time.
Well, we want to eventually do game night with the chat, like do some like Jackbox games and that kind of stuff. We'll get that going.
I love that too. Doing game night with the chat. I think that's a great idea. I love it. I've never done a game night. Nobody has invited me to a game night. I don't think there are any game nights going on, but there should be. There should be all kinds of stuff. And I love that they're doing this. I loved it so much. You guys tell me what you think. Inglewood, yeah, I love when Aaron said, Barb, Barb, Barb. Yes, Fluff a Squirrel UK, lots of mod appreciation. They really help to keep things going. and support us so much as creators. I mean, you guys, some of you, I think you know this and you really have an idea about it. Many may not, and they don't always get, I think, the appreciation accolades they should get. Some of them like to be more behind the scenes, but I so appreciate that they're doing this and sharing with the mods who want to go on and communicate and share about it. Nancy, I don't know if she'd do it, but I'm all for it. I think it's great. I love the content they're creating. And I want to know more about the mods because, like I said, they know everything. They see it, they hear it. It was so great to find out, too, how some of them got started in this community and then became more involved. I loved it. I love this. I can't say it enough. Stroke of Genius, good morning. Natalie and crew, good morning to you as well. Right, Jersey Jan, love the idea of a game night. Yes, I agree, Pup Groomer. Mods are the best. They are the best. So Rona says you need Sterling for a game night. Yeah, you guys, so check that out. Check them out. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go over there and subscribe to them because they deserve a lot of support. And honestly, it's great content. I watched that episode. I didn't even listen. Usually I have to speed up videos because I consume a lot of content. I'll listen to it on normal speed. One, because I just love the Southern accent. And secondly, it just was that, like, it was engaging. I found it to be great. Sandy, you're so funny. It's a mod world. Heck yeah, it is. Heck yeah, it is. I love it. It was great. Okay, let's take a look at Tori Magoo 44 because Tori spills some tea in getting into backing it up when she says Scientology statistics are crashing, what she means by that.
For years, they had a lot of people around their orgs and, going in and out, doing services, this and that. Now, here in LA, there's nothing. The testing center is shut down thanks to the live streamers being there. They just shut the thing down. And every one of the buildings that they own, every window is completely covered up and nobody's going in or out. And if they are going in, they have to, the only place where I've seen them go in and out is AOLA. And there they have to drive into the parking lot, get into a van, drive in the van across the street and get dropped off and go into AO.
Yep, she's right. It's weird. It's bizarre, but it's happening that way. It is another sign. It is very ironic that Scientology claims to hold the keys to communication, to creating a world without insanity, a civilization without war. Yet they can't find peace on their own block. They can't get along with people on their own block, on the street right there. And Tori also talks about in her videos the difference between how Scientology would communicate with protesters or critics of the church back in her day to what is happening today. It's crazy. And I agree. Are you Jellen? She does not age. She does not. Eric Rader, good to see you. And thank you for that. Oh, I love that. Hashtag Natalie in the morning. Hashtag Tony Strong. Thank you. Love you both. You're invited to my sunset talk after the chalk, an hour before the sun sets in the west. I love it. Eric, make sure that I get clips to that. I love that. I will try to check it out, but do send me, clips and stuff too. It makes it easy. But I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you. So last night, there were a bunch of people in the protest community, especially ones who lived in the area, at a community meeting. It seemed like it was like a city council or something, but specifically for that area, specifically for Hollywood. So we're going to take a look at a clip from Jessica Palmadessa's stream. Jessica was there. Scientology audit, William Good Streets LA, he was there. I believe Audit LA with Bike Men. This first clip, I think it's literally Michael who's speaking.
I had to restart it. It wasn't working.
Kids, they deem kids as adults in small bodies, so at the age of 4, they're signing billion-year contracts. And we just want to bring this information to the community around Scientology so people understand how dangerous it really is to get your kids even near Scientology. So we're here to support, we're here to have a voice, and we're here just to continue to bring the education to you all and help you guys help us help you. Thank you.
So he was talking about children in Scientology and how they need to be protected. And then Becky spoke as well. This was great. Check this out. Now, she's a harm reduction specialist certified by LA County, I believe. That's what she's sharing.
In support of my community, my Latino community. And what I have to say here today is that on Saturday there was an event on L1 Hubbard Way, and it was open to the public. I was personally invited by the consulate from El Salvador to come out, and for some odd reason.
So Becky goes on, and you can see a link down below so you can hear the whole thing. It's a little quiet, or I bet if we grab something from Becky's stream, we might be able to hear it better, where she explains what she does in the community and what happened with that El Salvadorian event that was happening on L1 Hubbard Way that she was invited to and then kicked out of. Rude, super rude, very rude. Stop scams and cults. Stop scams and cults. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. And I love the name. Stop scams and cults. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Oh, hey, Diane. More fun than sitting at home is here. Great to see you there. Okay, let's take a look at Confident Chris was out by the blue buildings like he is doing his thing. And he spotted some people that I was surprised to see. And let's take a look at this and let's talk about it. Here we go. He was with Solomon right off of L1 Hubbard Way there.
Not the camera crew. How's it going? What y'all documenting? What, pretty good? How y'all doing? Y'all documenting Scientology or? We'll do the same thing. We're here every day, man.
I watch you guys on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's back it up just a couple seconds here. Now, that is Apostate Alex from across the pond, who looks like who is in town, who's chatting with Chris and letting them know that, hey, I've watched your stream and all that, being friendly, which is fantastic. I hope they're getting a lot of great content. There is just something that, I'm trying to think of a word that's not a bad word. It bothered me. There's one point of this that just bothered me. And you know me. I try not to get too petty, but this bothered me. And you guys, you tell me, am I overthinking this? Am I making too much of a big deal about it? Did you hear it? Did you feel it? Here's what bothered me. That. Can you guys give us some room? Can you move to Solomon and Confident Chris? Confident Chris has been there like almost since day one. Solomon as well has been there since the early days of the testing center. And to tell them to move, get out of the shot kind of thing is not okay with me. And that really bothered me. Bothered me to the point of actually like kind of pissed me off. And you guys know I have an incredibly long fuse, but that got right to the core of it. So I thought, maybe I just need to talk about it. Maybe I'm like overthinking it. I don't know. I want to hear from you guys what the deal is. So Petty Lane says it's rude, which I agree. I agree, Petty Lane. Yeah, me and Taz, it's hilarious. The Squirrel Squad had no idea who they were. Yeah, I think I don't know how much other content that they catch as well. Okay, all right. So I'm not let's see. Okay, I'm reading your comments right here. So, all right, thank you. So it did seem to make you mad as well. I just needed a gut check on that because I'm like, am I being unfair? Am I overreading? Like, you know what I mean? That really, really pissed me off. Like, that's so not okay to do. These people have been there. Everybody's doing great work, right? In my opinion, if you are exposing Scientology, good, go for it. Go for it. I don't even care why you're doing it. If you're doing it for clout or clicks or whatever, I don't even care. Just do it. Get the word out there and expose it. But what I don't like is what happened right there. That's just not a way to build community. And I give Alex props for talking to Chris and saying, "Hey, I watch your stream," and communicating about it. I just thought that what Mitch said and did was rude and flippant, and I don't like it. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I just wanted a gut check. And thank you guys for chiming in on that. And Fluffer Squirrel, yes, I think Marilyn would agree. That burned my biscuits. That did. I'm doing a video with Marilyn after this at 12 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to have to ask her about it too, what she thinks. And you're all saying a bit arrogant and like they're above them, rude. Yeah, I thought that was really rude on Mitch Brisker's part. I do. Okay, so let's move on from that and let's look at something that is not rude, that warms my heart. We are talking about JDSA here on YouTube. Jay did an unboxing of items that were donated by so many of you lovely people out there, of items that he's going to be giving to the unhoused while he's out there protesting Scientology. Another thing that, let me tell you, drives Scientology crazy. This is the kind of stuff Scientology claims they do that they don't do. If they're handing anything out, it's a Way to Happiness booklet. Doesn't matter that a tornado came through and just took your house out, right? And your dog's missing. Here's a Way to Happiness book. Honor and help your parents. Read the room, Scientology. They don't read the room. But you know who does? Jay and other people like him who, while they're out there protesting Scientology, they're seeing the need. They're trying to do what they can do to help people in that community, especially the unhoused. Let's take a look.
Thank you for all that you're doing. The goodest girl. Shout out to the goodest girl. What do we got here? It's a bag in a bag, guys. So we got a bag, and inside the bag we got a bag. Classic classic dilemma. Wow, this is so cool. The goodest girl. Thank you so much, guys. So these are they are sunscreen lotions. Sunscreen lotion looks like a dual purpose. Oh shit, y'all are looking at me.
That's just so fantastic. And what a great idea. Little packets like that. I love that. I would keep that in my car even. And they would go right into a kit where you could even maybe have other hygiene products or things in there that could help. But I love that. I love that he's doing that. And thank you to everyone who helped them make that happen. That's why I'm saying there are so many different ways to help. Being here right now, just watching, spending your time watching these videos, liking, subscribing, membership, super chats, however you contribute. Thank you for that. It all makes a difference. We need all kinds and all ways. I thought it was just absolutely fabulous that he was doing that. There is a new streamer, at least new to me, the Wolf in Squirrel's Clothing in Berlin. Check this out, you guys. We're going to look at a quick clip, link down below so you can go over and sub to his channel. I'm looking forward to more to come.
We got the next bus coming, guys. So that's another 50 people seeing my sign. I love it.
The audio was a little crackly. I think it might be his mic, but you get the idea. He's out there. There's a lot of foot traffic where he is. You can see more in the rest of the video, but I love that he's doing this. And again, you will be able to find him at The Wolf in Squirrel's Clothing. I'm hitting that subscribe button. I'm making sure I'm subbed to his channel and can see more to come. Now, we got some things to talk about. Let me get a little caught up here and then we are going to talk about it. Larry B. Hey, Larry. Thank you for that. Becky represents what is so powerful about this whole protest movement. Anyone who says otherwise needs to be questioned as to why they think that. Thank you, Larry. Yes. And what she talks about too in being a harm reduction specialist, and you see it in her interactions with the police, with the other protesters, with agitators. You see that skill and that care coming into play. And Jay says, yes, thank you to everyone Every one of you incredible people who've contributed to the unhoused care packages. Yes, thank you so much for doing that. Absolutely. Okay, we are going to talk with Nance Drew out in Chicago, who is going to update us on what happened with her case. Because as you guys know, if you don't know and you're new to the channel, not that long ago, she was outside protesting Scientology in Chicago. And Chadwick, who's one of the Scientology staff members, was out there trying to like water and broom off the chalk. She was kind of standing by some that wasn't even directly in front of the building. Somehow, supposedly, contact with her boob, made contact allegedly, supposedly with Chadwick, and he just apparently it was too much for him. And yeah, they filed these charges. The whole thing is stupid, and we know this, but we are going to talk to Nance now to find out what happened. So, everybody, welcome to the main stage here at Scientology Life After Occult. Nance Drew, woo!
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Good to see you. Hip, hip, hooray. I'm glad that you're here. Now, I kind of just filled people in on the gist of what happened. Tell us what happened in court yesterday.
Well, I went in with some of my supporters. Windy City Thetan Watch was there with me, Corn Freak, and Juanita, as everyone knows. And she just started her channel, her first YouTube channel yesterday, by the way. So
I did not know that. Oh, good to
there
know.
But yeah, they were there with me and my lawyer, and I was the first one called because I was the only one having a lawyer there at the time. I stood in front and they asked for Chadwick Burke. Are you here? Are you here? No, he was not here, but his lawyer was. And so the judge said, okay, well, the case is dismissed. You have 160 days to file. And he asked why Chadwick wasn't there. And the lawyer said, oh, it's a family emergency.
And let's touch on too who the lawyer was.
Yes, so the lawyer was Joe Escala. He is Joe Escala Jr., who is the father of the groom that just had the wedding services or nuptial renewals this past Saturday, where they posted on thenot.com that they were going to have wedding services on May 18th. When we found this out by Kat Ocean, by the way, who is a former protester and will be joining us again in Chicago, she found this out and we let them know that, hey, we're going to be here at your event on May 18th. They rapidly changed it to May 25th on the Knot and then locked it down, password protected. So this Joe Escala has a lot of pull in Chicago. He's put a lot of money into the Church of Scientology and helping opening this ideal org up on March 3rd. He's the head of the Dream Exchange LLC. Honestly, Shannon knows more about it than I do with all the ins and outs about that. But yeah, it was interesting to see. So we were like, this guy hasn't practiced law in a while. The chat found it out really quick afterwards. They were like, yeah, he hasn't practiced in years. He doesn't even have malpractice insurance, but he still has his license. So anyways, like I thought I was good. And my lawyer told me, okay, let's go step outside. And I told Wendy, okay, my lawyer's telling me to go, but Juanita caught something. Juanita stayed back and saw that Escala was approaching the bench with my lawyer and me gone. That is a huge no-no. He was talking to the court coordinator and trying to get another appointment on the books within 30 days so that Chadwick could reappear. And the judge had already moved on to another case and he kind of heard about it and he was like, no, you can't not do this.
Yeah, but because Chadwick couldn't make it due to a family emergency,
right?
Yet he could somehow be there. Let me ask you this before we move on. Have you seen Chadwick? Has anyone seen him since this incident?
So the last time we've seen him a couple times, but we haven't seen him in over 7 days. So could it be a family emergency? Possibly, but knowing Scientology, what do they put first? Work, right?
Exactly.
And we were looking for him, like everyone after the court thing. Juanita, Hellgear, and Korn went down to see if they could see him, and they were protesting in front, and no sight of him either again yesterday. So Who knows? Maybe they're hiding him.
And prior, you used to see him all the time. He was there
every
often.
day.
He would come out there and mock. And then suddenly he's kind of gone, and especially the 7 days before the trial. And I agree with you. In Scientology, even if you had a family member, if you're a staff member and you have a family member who passes, you might go to the funeral and take that day, tops. You're not gone for days in some family emergency like that. That's so off brand for Scientology, and I don't buy it. And I get why maybe or Scientology didn't want him to go to court and stand there and have to be like, Nancy Boob touched me. Oh, I mean, really, come on. What is he going to do? What is he going to say? It's bad enough that Sakala dude had to stand up there, and it doesn't sound like they discussed anything. The judge just said, nah.
No, but they did this. My lawyer talked to me later. So there was a 2-hour waiting period where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Is there another date? We're going back and forth waiting. And my lawyer finally called me and let me know that he did talk to Escala for about 2 hours afterwards on the side. About 20 minutes of the conversation was about the case. And then the rest of it was just BSing stuff, because they just Chicago politics and stuff. And so within those 20 minutes, they were talking about, oh, Scientology is just so afraid. And that's why I want to come represent Chadwick, because these protesters are there in front every day almost. And look at what happened here. She hit Chadwick and my lawyer's like, you mean if she brushed against him with her boob? I mean, this is silly. Do you realize how silly this is? Mm-hmm. And he was just like kind of eye rolling or whatever and did smirk. My lawyer said. So
the judge did?
No, the between the two lawyers, my lawyer and Escala, they're the ones that had the conversation for a lengthy period of time.
Yeah.
Because the judge pretty much and the court coordinator said, no, you guys need to leave and talk somewhere else. So they were outside on the side of the courthouse. Meanwhile, we were in the front waiting for them. So it was a pretty shady thing that Escala did. It does seem like they think that they're above the law. It just follows the MO of what I've seen with Scientology. It was very shady that they could get in trouble. He could get in trouble for doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I'm still in this kind of limbo period. I think everything will be okay. I don't think that they'll do this, but they do have a window of 160 days where they could still refile against me. But the case is dismissed officially right now. So I'm free to protest.
How does that work? It gets dismissed, but they can still file?
I didn't know this rule or law any more than anyone else, honestly, until yesterday. I'm not sure. And someone asked yesterday, is it 160 straight days or 160 business days? I got to look into that. And then how is one notified? I was asking my lawyer and they're like, oh, you'll just get a thing in the mail. USPS mail? Because that really sucks here in Chicago. We never get our USPS mail, like maybe 50% of the time. So I'm like, can I call? Can I check? And he said that he would call or he would check in the court system every week for me. But I'm going to try to do something more than that because I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
How sneaky they can be. So.
No, and the thing that like this shows you how ridiculous Scientology doesn't realize that they are, where it's one thing to even like have you arrested and do all that. That was bad enough and looked so bad for them, that alone. But at that point, to let it actually go before a judge, how are you not embarrassed with yourselves? How are you not so ashamed? Like you're going to show up and Scientology, who is you get to the top levels of Scientology to achieve what they say in their own words is cause over life, cause over matter, energy, space, and time. You are this powerful being, but apparently if you get like a boob brushes up against you, that all falls apart. They don't see like, do you know how much fun we're going to have with this? I hope they don't refile for your good, Nancy, but at the same time, I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that's like, please do it. Please refile. Please do. Maybe we could even have a real court hearing because I would like to see Scientology publicly go in front of a judge and argue the type of assault that occurred when a boob brushed Chadwick. It is such a waste of resources on their part, and yet they can handle it. If you're having family problems, they can handle it. They can get in there and handle it.
I know people with me, they were like waiting to hear the actual case where it said a breast brushed up against. It says that on the paperwork. And I wanted to hear it too, but they didn't even get to that far because the judge was like, well, you're showing up. Why isn't Chadwick? He was kind of pissed off that he was a no-show.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but yeah, hopefully, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just want to be done with it.
Yeah, you want to be done. No, it needs to be done. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
It is very possible too that Chadwick is undergoing security checking, because even though he instigated, they learn in Scientology. Oh No Nora has talked about this on her channel multiple times, where they are trained to take a fall. They're trained to, if you just like a little bit brush up against, they're like, ah!
Yep, exactly that.
To try and claim assault. And this is just such a beautiful example of, you know, just talk about making lemonade out of lemons. It's, I hate that you spent that 5.5 hours in a very cold jail cell. That is horrific. Even going through the process of being arrested is traumatizing. I don't want that for you or for anyone. But if it's going to happen, you know.
Yeah. I mean, 5.5 hours, it seemed like forever, but I was facing a year, up to a year, and or a $2,500 fine for this if I get charged. If I get, well, I was charged, but like actually they won.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I had a lawyer. Some people criticized me on, I think, some Reddit thing about, oh, she's a grifter, she's doing this or that. Whatever. Do you not know the legal system? If you don't have a lawyer, you're pretty much screwed here. It's all about plea bargaining and that kind of thing. And I'm not going to do that on a case like this.
Yeah, no. And keep in mind, a lot of that too actually comes from Scientology or their supporters as well. You know, that's kind of the narrative. So you may as well just ignore it. Well, so then we have the 160 days go by, and then that's that. In the meantime, you'll be back out there protesting, just keeping your distance a little bit more.
Yes, definitely keeping my distance. I'll have a body cam on. Multiple body cams will be around me too. I am prepared. And then I'll be with people as well too.
Yeah. It's dismissed. Does it go on your record in any way?
So that's another thing. So, when I did this fundraising thing, it meant for 3 different appearances for my lawyer. So it will be 3 appearances if everything goes smoothly, and the 3rd one is the expungement of my record. And I have to wait I believe 160 days. There's some discrepancy because I looked it up online, and some say a whole year before I can clear it off of my record. So I'll find that out. But yeah, as of right now, I am great with funds. We did meet the goal. I'll talk about it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it on Marilyn's channel, I think, because they did a fundraiser for me, and I really appreciate that. And people here helped as well, and Fluffer Squirrel and Z News for putting it up on that SB TV space. It's helped incredibly. So yeah, I met that goal and went a little over actually by like a couple $100. So
that is absolutely awesome.
That money will go back into protesting because I can't wait to get back out there again.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. You know, out there in Chicago, even if you're not in Chicago, if anybody has the bandwidth, you like rabbit holes, you have some time on your hands, get this information, write a press release, get it sent to local media in Chicago, really anywhere for that matter. I mean, there's got to be multiple organizations that would just be outraged by this, that especially a woman who, if you don't mind me saying, who is, you know, well endowed and blessed. Sometimes it's a thing, you know, you just, there's some maneuvering. Nowhere did it show where you went out and you like, you know, chest bumped him or did something like that. No, but I would say, again, if anybody, you got some time on your hands, reach out to that local media there in Chicago, because how this is not a story and on the news is besides me. Church of Science. I mean, just think of the headlines. In fact, chat, let's hear some headlines. If you're catching this on the replay, tell me in the comments, what should the headline be for the news about this fiasco? And let's get it brought. Even the local, never underestimate the power of local publications, not just even the one that's for all of Chicago, but often, I know in my area, certain cities and communities have their own smaller community papers. They often their stories feed the larger ones. But I would say, get the word out, especially if you're in Chicago. If you have any contacts to media in that area, by all means, I'm sure that Nance would be helpful. And would you be willing to do some interviews if it comes up?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some good ones. COB files boob attack charges. When boobs attack, staying abreast of the local cult.
Oh my God.
One question we have here, or a question that we have, is why didn't she get that guy arrested for touching her breasts? I saw the incident. He touched her, in my opinion.
I tried. The cops laughed it off. They're like, he's saying that you bumped into him. I'm like, well, look at these two camera angles. The internet, a lot of them didn't see the other camera angles because it wasn't posted on YouTube, but I had it. Hellgear had the angle, and it showed even more clearly that there was no touching at it whatsoever. And
it just didn't happen.
We planted. It did not happen.
When good boobs go bad. Liz Ferris has got the boobs attack. Mexican long hair. I think we got the breast of all worlds here. Locked and loaded. Tata's attack Scientology.
Oh man.
Hey, let's take a look at that hoodie you're wearing. By the way, is that one of our never ends? Yes. I love it.
Yes, it's free.
I love it.
This was in with your t-shirt while I was in jail, so I just wanted to represent the hoodie is free too. Yay.
I love that. Nance is wearing the SPTV Never In hoodie, which is never in Scientology, but all in on ending the cult. And the funny thing is, funny, maybe not funny, is when she was arrested, she was wearing the SPTV Never In t-shirt. Oh my goodness. I so appreciate that. All right, so let's see. Let me just see. Liz Ferris, you're killing me. Boob touch assist. I'm sure you've heard a million of these, but I'm just at heart, sometimes I have the humor of a 12-year-old boy. Breasts not included. Oh my God. I can't stop. So the hoodie wasn't in.
Really bad days. So I really love the humor with all of this.
I'm glad. My God, my nose is running. I'm laughing so hard. This is a great question from Becky. So was the shirt in the mugshot? Did you get a mugshot?
In the mugshot. I want a picture of the mugshot so I can create my own merch.
Yeah, no kidding. You need to. You so should. I need to see that photo. How is this not on my community page? Do you have it?
I don't, and I need to figure out how to get it, but I'm sure I can somehow.
Definitely. Have a breast day. I have to say, guys, the breast is yet to come. Get long hair. I'm crazy in head. This is the breast. Not responsible for the actions of your breasts while wearing this shirt. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the SPTV Never In t-shirt that somehow.
I'll blame it on the shirt.
Blame it on the shirt. Scientologists traumatized by booby thetans.
Oh my God. Isn't that what you're talking about later? Thetans versus demons or something like that?
Yeah, we're going to have talked about booby thetans. Chicago, fantastic breasts and where to find them.
Oh my God.
Mission breastable. Yeah, that's right, Lorraine. So every woman who rides the train like needs to be careful. You could be accidentally assaulting people.
Yeah, I thought it was quite sexist, honestly.
No, it totally is. Please use a breast-proof vest. You better start strapping them down, Nance.
I used caution tape when I went to LA.
Yeah.
When I was around Big Blue, just for one night.
Big boobs at Big Blue. We are the boobs. Resistance is futile. Oh, we have got to get the mugshot. I'm just dying here thinking about that. Ellie says, Nance, do you have to wait 160 days for a breast reduction, or is that still tampering with evidence?
I'll wait 160 just in case.
Breast above the rest. Oh my God, you guys are killing me. I can't take it anymore. Breasted and arrested.
I'm hurting from laughing.
Oh my gosh. Keep it coming, but make it stop. Look at this. Put that in your memory bank.
Oh my God.
Oh, Mina wrote a song. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the booby. See reason. Oh my God. Can you imagine Osa having to transcribe this show for Miss Kev?
I hope he heard about it.
Oh, I know. No, the OSA staff are probably busy writing up their overts because they're having, this is titillating. And it might be having effect on. Oh my God. Okay. All right. We got to wrap it up. We're going way over here. But I'm going to go back and read all of these.
I will too. Oh my God.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nance, for being here. I'm going to pull you out and then wrap things up with the show here with everybody else. Wish you nothing but the best. I'll be watching. And reach out anytime.
All right.
But don't reach out and touch someone. All right. Bye. Oh my God. I'm dying, you guys. Nance, you're simply the breast. Okay, we got to stop. Even Nancy's like, it's 13 after. Okay, all right, we're professionals here. Look, I'm sweating. I'm laughing so hard. All right, so you will catch me at 12 p.m. Central Time today, sitting down with Marilyn Honig. We are going to talk about Scientology body thetans versus demons. Like, are there similarities? What are the differences? We're going to compare cults, and that's always such a fun thing to do. So if you can't catch that live, please do catch it on the replay. I would love it if all of you here would make sure to hit that like button before you head out, and also make sure you check your subscribe button and notification bell as well, because there's all kinds of stuff going on and coming up, especially with interviews. Like I said, I'm going to sit down with Marilyn, and I've got a bunch coming up too later in the week, and even into next weekend. It is getting busy. Thank you guys so much for being here. You are absolutely the best. Sorry, I can't help it. Oh my God. All right, everybody, get out there and have an amazing cult-free day.